Some people think I'm a nihilist. They think my message is about the negative things that are happening in the world. Like that's what my message is actually about. Like sometimes I'm negative for the sake of being negative. Like I wake up in the morning and be like, what is the most negative thing I can say today? My message is about figuring out what reality is, figuring out what existence is, figuring out why I'm here, figuring out what I can do to set myself free. Because I have found myself in a world that I didn't ask to be brought into, or that I remember asking to be brought into. So do I have some power? Can I just one day say, though, this is enough. This was a beautiful experience, or it was a horrible experience, or it was the mixture of both. Whatever it is, it's fine, it's fine. Do I have the power to say, yeah, I'm done with this. I'm done with this video game. I'm done with this film simulation. I'm done with this dream. Can I be in control? Can I make things happen in my favor? Because, of course, having things work out for you in this realm will make you feel, much better than if nothing is working out for you. Do you understand being in a world where nothing is working out for you? Your relationships are not working. You are not having the career that you want. No one likes you. Like, you just desire things, but nothing actually works out for you. Like, that is hell. That's actually the definition of hell. It's experiencing what you don't want to experience, right? So I try my best to observe the world and see it for what it is. The problem is that whenever I do that, the world doesn't feel so positive. Does that make sense? Right? See, I don't approach the world every day when I wake up, actually, and this is what a lot of people might not even realize. I don't approach the world expecting negative things or expecting positive things. I approach the world and be like, show me what you can show me today, and I will believe what I believe about it, right? Show me what you're going to show me today, and I'll believe whatever I believe about it. So when I think as honestly as possible, it doesn't feel like we are having a positive experience as a collective. So that's why it feels like my message is negative. I think I'm one of the realest people that you could ever come across on YouTube. Because, you see, I'm not trying to look like I'm this positive person. I'm not trying to be attractive to people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to make it seem like my life is great and I'm trying to attract people to, like, I'm trying to just be real. Just be real as possible. Just be as honest as possible. It doesn't mean that I know what is going on. And I keep on telling you that I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's also possible that I could be wrong, but I really think that that's highly unlikely. I think I'm one of the most honest people, and I think to truly understand where we are and what is going on, we must be as honest as possible. You see? Like, I must be intellectually honest. See, when I'm thinking, I mustn't be biased. I mustn't prefer a reality to be a certain way and just choose for reality to be that. You see, I don't have to do that. It's not like if you're a Christian, for an example, and you are asked to preach. When you stand in the pulpit, in front of the pulpit, you there are some things that you can't say. It's not like you can be really real, right? Stand in front of the pulpit. If you're going to be really real, I do believe that one of the people might stand up and actually come and take the mic from you. There are some things that you just can't say. At least I'm about to tell you a story. So when my father passed away, we held his funeral at my old church. That's where let me not even say my old church, but the church that I used to attend. My mother still attends there. So we thought it would be beautiful to to just hold the funeral there, because it's a big church. When they gave me the mic, I'm supposed to talk. Me, my sisters, we're supposed to talk. I was the first one to talk. I didn't hold back. That's because I was not preaching. And let me try to repeat what I've said. I'll probably post a video where I was saying what I was saying in my father's funeral, but I was speaking in Tonga in English. Maybe I'll also write some subtitles so that you guys will see what I was saying. But yeah, I stood in front of people and say, growing up, one of the most important thing that was like that I focused on was understanding what reality is. I'm in a church. Was understanding what consciousness is, was understanding why I exist. And after doing a lot of work, I do not feel like this is it. Like this is base reality. This is where it all ends. I believe that life is more like a dream. And it's actually appropriate to call it a dream. It just sounds wrong to call it a dream when you're still in it. Just like when you're dreaming. If you're going to tell the dream characters that you're dreaming, that just sounds wrong, right? But it's more like a dream. It's not really real. It's all in the mind. Like I was saying this because how Christians think, right? They already think that, hey, this reality was created by God. He sent Jesus and all that. So the things that I was saying was contradicting what, and I grew up, attending in the church. I was given a platform and I was like, I need to be as real as possible. Tell people what I really think, and it's my father's funeral. So yes, I believe that I'm gonna meet my father somewhere, and even though this sounds crazy, I actually do believe that I will meet my father somewhere. And the reason why, in another reality, and let me tell you why. Because even in my dreams, I do meet him. So do you mean to tell me that when I wake up from this reality, like, I'm not gonna meet him? He's already in my consciousness. He's already in my reality. You've just left this dream, and that's what is believed, right? That is what is real in this dream. But it doesn't mean that I'm not going to wake up one day and be like, I had a dream where you died. I told myself that I must be as honest as possible, and I must be able to defend my theories on reality no matter where I'm at. So if I'm on YouTube making a video, I should be able to tell you what I really think is going on. And some people, don't agree with me, and I understand. We all experiencing life from our own perspective. So you might watch my video and be like, you crazy, bruh. This is not a dream. But I do believe that I've done enough work as a human who is not being told what is going on to actually qualify to say what I think, right? I like the fact that I'm not afraid to tell anyone what I think. I used to be afraid, and the reason why I was afraid is because I didn't understand myself enough, and that's why it's important to understand yourself, to understand why you think what you think, why you believe what you believe, why you feel the way that you feel. I was having a conversation with someone last week. They asked me, because this person found me recording a video. After I recorded the video, they asked me, "Yo, man, what do you talk about?" It's like, talk about what I think reality is. And he's like, "Yo, what do you think reality is?" I was like, "I think it's a dream." Like, what? How can you think this is a dream? Of course it's real. And I told him that, yo, I think, I don't know what it is, but I think it's more logical to look at this the same way that you look at a dream. Right? It's more logical. When you are dreaming, you really don't know that you're dreaming. And I know that there'll be people who'll be like, yo, I've had lucid dreams before, so I knew that I was dreaming. And I'll be like, I've also had lucid dreams, but my knowing, let me say, my knowledge of the fact that I'm dreaming wasn't as deep as it should have been for me to actually say for sure 100% that I'm in a dream, I'm sleeping somewhere and I just remember everything. Like, yeah, I've had a dream where I'm like, it's a dream, but I was still not as conscious as I should have been. It's not like I knew 100% that, okay, I'm sleeping in my room, my name is Stantla. Before I slept, I put my phone on the table. I have a friend, his name is, like, there was still confusion, right? So even when you're lucid dreaming, you don't 100% know that you are in a dream. You just, you know, but your knowledge is not deep enough. So you kind of know that you're in a dream, but not fully. It's like if you're about to fall asleep and you start to kind of dream, right? Like, because you are in between worlds, you are in between realms, the dream realm and what you call reality. So you kind of know that, okay, I'm about to enter a dream, or I'm kind of like dreaming, but I'm sleeping. So that's how lucid dreaming is like. So when you're dreaming, you don't really know that you're dreaming. It all feels real. And you believe the story that your dream is showing you, right? You believe the story. You could have a dream where you're a butterfly and believe that you're a butterfly. You don't think, hey, I'm Tlanta or I'm Benedictine and I have a YouTube channel where I talk about these topics. You're not even be thinking that. You can forget that completely and just look at yourself as a butterfly. Like, I'm a butterfly. And it's going to make sense, and you're going to have memories. This is what's crazy, right? You're going to remember how you became a butterfly. You're going to remember your family as a butterfly. And that should make you question memories. Because the story is going to make sense. Like, you are actually a butterfly. You're not going to remember that you were a human and you fell asleep and now you're dreaming that you're a butterfly. No, you're a butterfly. Like, that is what is real in that dream. You can have a dream where you're a snake. I've had a dream where I was a snake. Some people be thinking, I miss you to the devil. Yo, I've had a dream where I was Jay-Z, Beyonce. Weird. I had a dream where I was God, like Yahweh. It's funny. I've had a dream where I was someone else that I don't even know. And I believed that I was that person until I woke up and I was like, huh? Really? My mind created, my brain created it. Like that's just random firings in my brains, and that's why I'm having. Let's be real. Let's be as honest as possible. Why do we dream, and why do dreams feel real? It's just on random firings in our brains, and we end up having these weird experiences that seem real. If you're driving a BMW, the newest BMW, dude, it's gonna have everything, bruh. Everything, and it's gonna it's gonna look as beautiful as it can look. You know, you look at the wheel, everything is beautiful. You play music. I had a dream last night. Someone was playing me a song. I don't know that song in what we call real life. I don't know that song. That song was so beautiful. It was so well made. I love the song. My brain created it. Just created a song, a random song. And I just happened to love it. I'm talking about a song that if you had it, you would love it. It was so good. We're talking about the lyrics, the beats, everything about it. Doesn't it make sense to look at life as a dream or a nightmare? It's still a dream. A nightmare is still a dream. That's the title of the video. A nightmare is still a dream. Who told you this was real? Who told you this was not a dream? What told you that this was not a dream? How did you got to believe that dreams are different from what you call reality? If when you are dreaming, you don't know that you're dreaming until you wake up. So I told the guy, yo man, if there is something, I mean, yes, you can. There will always be contradictions, right, when it comes to this reality. If you believe it's a simulation, there will be theories that contradict that. If you believe that we live in a material universe, there will be theories that contradict that, right? If you believe that this realm was created by God, there will be theories that contradict that. If you believe in evolution, there will be theories. But when it comes to dreams, that's when it becomes a bit complicated. And I keep on telling you that the only other reality that you, let me not even call it reality, but the only other experience of life that you've had was in a dream. And you believe that it was real until you woke up. So isn't that a sign that this too is a dream? And you're gonna wake up. It's just a different kind of dream. You know, it's longer. It seems more persistent. I'm not even sure if it's persistent. You know, I think things do change. That's why some people, you know, experience what they call the Mandela effect, right? I do believe that it keeps on changing. It's not permanent. It's not as consistent as we think it is. But that doesn't mean that it's. That doesn't mean that it's not a dream, because you know it seems persistent. It might not actually be persistent. It just seems persistent to us. The same way that when you're dreaming, sometimes you can have a dream that you are sleeping in your room, and then you have a dream like in the same dream. Now you're somewhere else. You're in a club. How did that happen? So you were sleeping a second ago. Now you're in a club dancing, and it makes sense. You believe that makes sense. Until you wake up and you're like, okay, that didn't make sense because I had a dream where I was sleeping and then now I'm in a club. But then you believe that it makes sense. Like you believe that was real. You see? So there are a lot of weird things that are actually happening, but because we're still in a dream, it makes sense to us, right? Then weird things that be happening actually make sense to us. Because we're still in this dream, but when we wake up, we're going to look at it and be like, what the hell was that? Like, how did I even fall for that? How did I even believe that was real? You know, the synchronicities, the contradictions, the glitches. Like, I've seen a lot to believe that this is real, but I still believe that it is. How? Maybe it's just my dream and you just in it. Always have been. My favorite quote from a movie, bro. I mean, not a movie, a TV series, but whatever. Atlanta, season 4, episode 10. The last episode of Atlanta. It titled, "It Was All a Dream." Maybe it's just my dream and you're just in it. Always have been. So if it's, life is a dream. Let's say you're actually dreaming right now. Should you take anything seriously? It's a very important question. Because if you are dreaming, it means that nothing is real. I mean, even though it feels real, it doesn't mean that it is. So should you take anything seriously? You hear that someone was gossiping about you. Should you take that seriously? You'd be like, it's just a dream, whatever. Gossip all you want. And wouldn't that make you free? Because the moment you try to control reality, the moment you start suffering. Oh, you gossip about me. Why did you gossip about me? Why did you say this about me? Like, you are now playing the game that life wants you to play. You see? Because you're taking it seriously. See, it wants you to take it seriously. That's why when you're dreaming, you don't know that you're dreaming. I've had dreams where the dream characters, literally, I told the dream characters that I'm in a dream, 100%. The whole thing is a dream. And they were like, no, you're crazy for thinking that. And I'll wake up and I'll be like, what the hell? So I was right. So why is it that when you're dreaming and you tell the dream characters that you're dreaming, they don't agree with you, even though that is what is true? It means that you're supposed to believe that you're not dreaming. You're supposed to believe that it's all real. But is it? Maybe it's only as real as it lasts. Dreams are only as real as they last. So if it's a dream and everything about life tells you that it's a dream, because when you think about it deeply, you realize that that's what it tells you. I could be wrong, but that's what, like, if you ask me, what is your final truth? I will tell you that this is a dream, because that's what everything tells me, right? When I'm experiencing reality every day, everything is actually telling me that it's a dream. Everything tells me that I'm dreaming. It's hard to just to take a leap of faith and be like, okay, you know what? I don't know what this thing is, but it feels like a dream. So I'm going to believe that it's a dream and that's it, because no one is going to tell me what this is. But that's what makes sense to me. It's not easy to take that kind of leap. This reminds me of the movie Vanilla Sky, starring Tom Cruise. It's one of his most underrated movies. You see, the movies that I like, it's not movies that are, they use maybe like great CGI, whatever. It's the story itself. You watch movies like Shutter Island, it's the story, right? It doesn't have to be something special. You watch movies like The Waking Life, but it's kind of special. You watch movies like Vanilla Sky, it's nothing really special. But because they are, the movie is hitting on some ideas about existence that are really that deep. I'm interested. This is the kind of movies that I like watching. So yeah, in the movie, the guy was dreaming. He didn't know that he was dreaming. He agreed to dream. By the way, they had this machine where he could sleep and have a dream. Like, his face got disfigured, but he was rich, so he wanted to be frozen because he didn't like how he looked. He used to be handsome, so he wanted to be frozen and dream the whole time until he's waking up in the future, when there's doctors that can actually perform surgeries that are going to make him look better. But something went wrong, and instead of having a dream that he wanted to have, he was having a nightmare, and he didn't enjoy the dream. And because he didn't enjoy the dream, You know, he hated it. The guys who work for the company realized, okay, this guy is having a horrible dream. So how do we help this guy? They decided to go inside the dream and actually convince him. See, he was the one who was supposed to wake himself up, but he had to take a leap of faith. I'm not going to tell you what he did because I don't want to give you some ideas. But he was told that you have to take a leap of faith to wake up. And he ended up waking up. I'm not saying that's how it is in this, what we call reality, whatever it is, you know. But yeah, at some point, a person has to decide what they think this is. And you deserve to decide that for yourself, what you think it is, right? Do you think that we came from apes? Do you think that that story really makes sense? Do you believe that we were created by the Anunnakis, or they manipulated our DNA? Do you believe that we were created by Jehovah? Do you believe that we're in a simulation? Do you believe that we're in a dream? Do you believe that consciousness is fundamental? Like, what do you actually believe? I do believe that every conscious being have to reach a point where they decide what they think this really is. And that's when they will start to live, in my opinion. Like, that's when you actually start to live. Like, okay, this is a dream, and I'm going to live life as if this is a dream because that's what I really believe. That's, you know what I'm saying? Oh, we came from monkeys, so I'm going to live life this way because I believe we came from monkeys. Oh, I was created by Jehovah, so I'm going to worship this dude for the rest of my life because, well, he created me. I'm interested in hearing what you think this is. I think the final truth is that it's a dream. Yes, there are truths within the dream. Even though everything is a hallucination, but there are truth. Like, if I had a hallucination where I'm seeing another me, I've seen another me in a hallucination. That is what is true, you see? So even in this dream, there are things that are actually true. You know, you are experiencing what you're experiencing, and it's true that you're experiencing these things. But the highest truth is that it's all an illusion. It's all in the mind. It's all a dream. So what that will mean is that when you die, you wake up and realize that you're God. Imagine. So you spend your whole life questioning the existence of God, only to realize that you're God. That would be interesting, wouldn't it be? Life was just your dream. It was just your own way of having fun. Because what do you do as God? You see? Because here's what it would mean to be God. I don't think a lot of people really do think about this. It will mean that you're actually the only conscious being. That's actually what it will mean. And I've been telling you that I don't think consciousness can actually be created. Because how? We're creating artificial intelligence. Let me stop saying we, because that's not an accurate statement to make. There seem to be people who are creating artificial intelligence, but they do not experience reality from the perspectives of what they've created. So how do they know if artificial intelligence is conscious? And if it gained consciousness at some point, how will they know? Because they're not. And if it gained consciousness, how will they even understand the kind of consciousness that it has? You see? So really, if God created other people, how will he know that these people actually do exist? I'm not trying to limit God here, but we need to do real philosophy to see what actually makes sense. I've been telling you that it's only through philosophy that we can figure out what actually makes sense. We shouldn't look at ourselves as humans and be like, nah, we're too dumb to understand reality. We're too dumb to understand God. We're too dumb to question God. No, we're not. You just think you are. I don't think I am. I do think I can question God. How can consciousness be created? If I can't know if other people exist except me, I mean, that is true. A lot of people say, oh, solipsism doesn't make sense. I'm like, dude, if there is a philosophy about existence that truly makes sense, it's solipsism. A solipsist is not actually saying that they are the only conscious being in the universe. They're saying the only thing that they can be sure of is the existence of their mind, and that is true. We already know that the mind is very capable of creating a world where there seem to be other people. We call that dreaming. But we already know that is possible. I've had many dreams in my life. I dream every time when I sleep, actually. So we know the mind can create other beings that seem conscious. I remember years ago, I asked this question in an atheist group on Facebook, and everyone said I was crazy. I asked, is it possible that dream characters might be conscious? And everyone thought I was crazy. And there's a reason why everyone thought I was crazy. It's because it doesn't make sense. It seems like dreams are a creation of our mind. So if that is possible, we can't say that it's not possible, that is actually what is happening right now. So solipsism is true. I can only be sure of the existence of my own mind. But I can't be sure that there are other minds. I can't be sure that other people have their own minds. So if I was God and I created another mind, how would I know that it's not just my hallucination? Like, I was dreaming that I'm creating other minds, but there are no other minds. I'm the only one that actually exists. These are questions that you should ask yourself as a human. You know, you shouldn't be ashamed to ask yourself these questions. And if anyone says that you're crazy for asking these questions, you shouldn't trust them again. Because I don't believe that there's a sentient human that can actually think rationally that these kind of questions wouldn't make sense to. Like, these are normal human questions. You must ask yourself these questions since you find yourself experiencing life the way that you're experiencing it, without really understanding what it really is and what it's about. So what if it's just your dream and everyone else is just in it, and it's always been like that? Should you take anything seriously? Should you worry when things that you don't prefer to see happening? I do understand that even in your dreams, you do want to have good experiences, but if you're not having good experiences, should you be worried to that extent? I'm having horrible experiences. I always have a running nose. I'm drinking. I get thirsty when I'm recording videos. I have to see how I look. I always check myself, like, see how I look, like, before I record a video. But I've noticed on the first part of the video, I had something on my beard. Like, how did that happen? Because it wasn't that weird. We all want to have good dreams. No one wants to have a nightmare. But I think the reason why nightmares make us feel the way that we feel is because we think they're real. That is the real problem. I think this other philosopher said something that's very deep. He said, we are taking something seriously that God made for fun. Something like that. If you take a dream seriously, of course what is happening, like, you're not really going to enjoy it. Because everything that's happening is going to affect you. Your girlfriend sees something negative that affects you. Someone makes fun of your face. That affects you. Someone tells you you're not good enough. That affects you. You don't think, it's not real. It's just a dream. Whatever. Say whatever. It's fine. It's a dream. It's not real. It doesn't really matter. What if you lived life believing that this was not real? And if we believe that this was not real, no one should even blame you, right? I do have a right to approach people and say, I don't think this is real. It is what it is. I'm not gonna get arrested because I don't think it is. I have done enough work. You have your religions. You believe in Jehovah. I don't believe in that stuff. I just believe this is not real. You see the difference between me and you? So this feels real to you, but it doesn't feel real to me. I mean, it doesn't even feel real. You just believe that it is. Because, well, what are you going to think if you've not really done enough work to like really question reality, really question what existence is, what is actually going on, why you exist, why there's something instead of nothing? This is something that I've been battling with this year. Taking the dream, whether to take this dream seriously or to not take it seriously. I already know without a doubt in my mind that if I didn't take this thing seriously, no matter what happens, I would suffer less. That I know. I've been telling y'all about the art of detachment. I've been telling y'all about stoicism. Like, why should you care when things happen? Someone gossiped about you. Why should you care? Someone says you're not good enough. Why should you care? Someone is looking at you and they're laughing at you. Why should you care? Someone is telling you that you'll never make it. Why should you care? Why is it that a big deal? It is what it is. Say what you say. It is what it is. I don't give a shit. Right? You can have any opinion that you want to have about me. I do not care. It doesn't matter to me. But somehow we still find a way to care. Can you imagine if you were having a dream and the dream characters were testing you by saying negative things to you and you bought it. You believe these negative things that they were saying about you, and now you're suffering because you are believing these negative things that they're saying about you. When you wake up from the dream, you feel like an idiot. Like, why did I believe it? Why did I believe what they were saying? Why did I buy it? Why did it make sense to me to believe what they were saying, even though it's not true? The last episode of Atlanta, it was all a dream. The main character, they weren't clear about who the main character was, but I still feel like the main character was Darius. Like when the episode started, it's called The Big Bang, and he had a deja vu. Like he experienced something. That's why I say the whole show was a dream. Like it makes sense to look at the whole show as a dream, because when the episode, like the way that the episode ended, actually, they were standing somewhere with, he was standing with his friends, and they had a beef with someone, and his friend ended up pulling out a gun. But when they were fighting there, he spoke about it, some dog. He was like, yo, I'm having a... Wait. When they were fighting, this one, what really makes Atlanta one of the best TV shows ever. So his friends were fighting and they were in a serious fight. And he was like, wait. I'm having a deja vu right now. Where is that dog with the Texas on it? Something like that. I don't really remember what he said. And then he looked to the other side and he saw the dog. So he was really having a deja vu. And so the episode ended. The first episode ended with him saying that, and then a gunshot was heard. And then the last episode ended with him while he was watching Judge Judy, because we were trying to figure out whether he was dreaming or not. If Judge Judy, it was like a totem, like in Inception. If you watch the movie Inception, if you haven't watched the movie Inception, please watch it. But he was trying to figure out whether he was dreaming or not. If Judge Judy had a thick ass, it would mean that he's dreaming. If she didn't have a thick ass, it will mean that he's not dreaming. So it just ended with him just watching, and they never really showed us if Judge Judy had a thick ass. But before that part, he spoke with his friends. He was in trouble because he stole a car. His friends was like, yo, you're gonna get in trouble for that, for stealing a car. And he was like, I don't mind. I'm not afraid of getting in trouble because I'm still in the tank. I'm still dreaming. No, you're not in the tank. You're not in a sensory deprivation tank. Actually, this is real. You're not in the tank. We are really here. We're really your friends. And it was like, maybe it's just my dream, and you're just in it. Always have been. See, he's not worried. So is that how you're supposed to live life? Like when crazy things be happening, you're like, whatever, man. Whatever. It's just my dream, and you're just in it. It's not real. I'm gonna wake up one day. Wouldn't that make your life better? Wouldn't that make you careless? Wouldn't that make you stressless? Because it's just a dream. And you've discovered that it was just a dream. It was never real. It felt real, but it wasn't. So no matter how real it felt, it wasn't. So no matter how real reality feels, it is not real. It's just a dream. Maybe you are the only conscious being in the universe. You just don't want to realize that now. Like right now, you don't want to realize that, but you are. So when you wake up, maybe you realize that, or you're going to realize something that is true, but not the highest truth. So you're going to keep on waking up until you realize the highest truth and be like, damn, I was in a dream within 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 a dream where I was just confused. It was like I was crazy. It's very important to do philosophy work. It's very important to try to understand reality. It's very important to question everything. You shouldn't be ashamed of feeling as if something is wrong, because that is perceived as a weakness in this reality. Like that means that you're a failure. Things are not working out for you. So now you think that you are having a negative experience. Like, nah, don't be ashamed of all of that. Just be as real as possible. What do you think is going on in this realm? Because why should we lie to ourselves? Why should I lie to myself about what I think is going on? That actually means that I'm a coward if I'm going to lie to myself about what I think is going on. If I think it's a dream, I must live life as if it's a dream. If I'm ready. And if they ask me, why do you live your life like that? I'll be like, yeah, it's just a dream, whatever. I'll just be like, there is, because what am I supposed to think anyway? Right? Like sometimes you just have to stop trying to be normal. Like just be you, other than like trying to be normal. Because if this is really a dream and you're trying to be normal, it means that you are playing the game that life wants you to play. You're supposed to believe it's a dream, and you're letting dream characters control you. So what if you step outside the box, took a leap of faith and said, this is a dream, it feels like a dream, I'm no longer going to say it isn't, because I've been living my life as a victim. I've been believing that everything that's happening is real. I've been believing in the storyline, right? I've been watching this movie and believing that it's real. I was like a dog, like there are people who make TikTok videos where they're watching like a movie with their dog. A dog is not able to tell the difference between a movie and reality. Like what he sees is real. Like you find a dog barking at a screen, right? Like a bear, when it sees its own reflection in the mirror. I've seen a video where a bear saw its own reflection in the mirror for the first time, or maybe not for the first time, but then it started attacking the mirror because it thought that it was seeing another bear when it saw its own reflection. So everything is your projection, but you're reacting because you don't know that it's your projection, So that dude who said something negative about you, he's not real. He's just your projection, but you don't know that. You don't even want to believe that. So you look at him and you feel he's real, but he isn't real. He's you. He's always been you. But you feel like a victim because you don't want to accept that that is you. Or you're not ready to accept that that is you. Maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe there's a reason why you don't want to accept that. But what if the only way to wake up, and what if you are ready, what if it's necessary to wake up because you're suffering a lot, because you didn't know what you were doing when you started dreaming anyway? What if the only way to wake up is by realizing that it's all a dream and actually becoming lucid when you are experiencing this reality? So you become lucid in this life. Isn't that better than believing that the things that are happening to you are real? I always give you this example, and this is what I like about the videos that I make, is that I always gain new insight. So I can use the same example over and over again, but this example, every time when I give you this example, there's depth, right? Like we'll be able to go deeper or interpret, the examples that I'm giving you differently. So there's this movie called Beautiful Mind. This guy was suffering from schizophrenia. He was a scientist. I think it's based on a true story. So he met these guys that he thought were real, but they were not real. They were just his projections when he was working on this science project. They ended up convincing him that, no, your friends are not real, bruh. Like, they're not real. They're just your projection. And he's like, damn. And after years of doing, doing science, he stopped taking these people seriously because they were not real. So someone asked him, yo, man, so do you still see those people? Because, his story was known by everyone. And he was like, yeah, I do see him. So they were like, yo, how do you deal with these people? And I was like, I just pretend that they're not there. I just live life as if they're not there. Because I know they're not real. Right? So just live your life. Live your life as if other people are not there because they're not real. You take that leap of faith and be like, well, other people are not real. I'm just going to live my life. It is what it is, Why should I take this seriously? Maybe I shouldn't be attached to anything. Because none of it is real anyway. None of it can be real. Maybe reality cannot be real. Because how would it be real? Maybe consciousness itself is fundamental. Maybe it is impossible to live in a material universe. Because how does anything come into existence in a material universe? How does anything start existing in a material universe? We already know how things start existing in our dream. I mean, we don't really know how it really happens, but we already know that it is possible that things can just pop into existence out of nowhere. When you're having a dream, your friend can come and knock at your door. And can come and knock on your door, and you open for them. But it's a dream. It's not real. But you were thinking it is. Until you woke up. So we already know that things can pop into existence, things can disappear. in a dream. Things do disappear in this room, but we have an explanation for that. We'd say maybe someone stole it. If something disappears from your room, it means someone stole it, right? Like you always have, you always have an explanation for weird things that happen in this realm. But what if there are no explanations sometimes? What if reality is just reality? Things just happen. There's a lot going on in this realm, but it's possible that reality is not as complicated as we think it is. We just don't really know what it is, right? So we believe that there's a background story. There's a reason behind anything that's happening. Or maybe there is. But maybe the reasons why these things are happening are not the actual reasons. You see? Maybe the reason why life exists is because you are hallucinating. Maybe taking the leap of faith is as important as it may seem. And I think because you can't know, I don't think, at this level of reality, even if things are knowable, but you can't confirm that what you know is the final truth. You know what I mean? Like, yes, maybe it's knowable. Maybe what this whole thing is knowable, but how do you confirm that what you know is the final truth? You see? That's the problem. So maybe there are things that are knowable, but we can't be 100% sure that what we think we know is actually the final truth. So that's actually the problem of existence, right? It's that what we feel we know isn't really knowable. You see, because even when you do real philosophy, you can't reach a level where you can confirm fully that what you know is the final truth. And this is what I can say about Solipsism, and this is why Solipsism is my favorite philosophy of all time, is that I know that I exist, right? I know that my mind exists. Like that is true. That cannot be debated. No one can say you're crazy for thinking that your mind exists. It's like, it does. That's the reason why I'm asking questions. That's the reason why I even know there's a mind. Or I call what I don't even understand the mind. Because why do you even call your mind the mind? Like, I have a mind. What is a mind? So you can say that the mind is where thoughts are happening, right? So thoughts are happening within the mind. Your ability to think is happening within the mind. So wherever reality is happening within the mind, and that is why you say you have a mind. So it makes sense to believe fully that you do have a mind, because something is happening. So whatever is experiencing what is happening, or whatever is causing what is happening to be happening, is the mind, right? So no one can tell you that, no, you do not have a mind. No, you 100% do have a mind, but you can't guarantee that other people have minds. You can't. And if you are going to be truly honest with yourself, knowing that you dream, it makes sense to think that other Other people might actually be your projections. Like that really makes sense. No, it sounds crazy, but that's what really makes sense. Because how can they be other minds? How can they be other minds in a dream? Try to imagine a world where there's other minds. Try to imagine how that world will be like. Will it be like Earth and what's happening in this world? Or it's even impossible for you to imagine other minds. But it's easier for you to imagine projections, right? It's easier for you to imagine things. Like, for example, I can imagine other people. Does that mean that the people that I'm imagining have their own minds? I can imagine a person that I've never seen. In my own head, I can imagine a person that I've never seen. Does that mean that that person that I'm imagining actually have their own mind? Or it's my mind that's imagining that person. So that is why solipsism makes true. And that is why it's true by definition, that I can only be sure of the existence of my own mind. Because that is what is true. And even if other minds exist, it still doesn't make solipsism to not be true, right? Because I am sure that I exist, but I cannot be sure that other people exist. So I think it is very logical to look at life the same way that we look at dreams. But you look at your life as a dream that you've not woken up from yet, believing that, no, one day I will wake up. One day this will make sense. One day I will know that it was all a dream. One day I will blame myself for taking it too damn seriously, for stressing over things that were in the story, for taking what God made for fun seriously. And because of that, I've stressed myself. I've harmed myself. I have suffered because of that. Like, it's because of the way that I interpreted reality. I've called reality what it was not, because I wasn't conscious enough to see it for what it actually is. Or I wasn't brave enough to take that leap of faith to be able to acknowledge reality for what it is. Right? Because sometimes it's just about taking the leap of faith. So, after doing all the work that I've done, and trust me, I have done a lot of work, bro. I have done a lot of work. Ever since I was young, bro, I was trying to figure out what is going on. And I've noticed that my peers weren't doing what I was doing. I'll try to have conversations with my friends, be like, yo, what do you think is going on? And you realize that they've never really thought about it. Like, when they're alone, they don't think about this stuff. Be like, what do you think about it, actually? Right? Because this is all I think about. So it's easier for me to trust myself more than I trust other people, because of the work that I've done trying to understand reality, right? So I do deserve to say, hey, this is what I think is going on. This is what I think reality is. This is what I think makes sense. You see? So I don't make videos trying to promote an idea. Like, okay, this is what I want people to believe reality is. This is what I want people to believe makes sense. Like, no. I make videos trying to tell people what I really think is going on. What I really think makes sense. And what I really think makes sense mustn't be what, like, you mustn't just watch my videos and be like, okay, I believe that Benedictine is right, so I'm just going to believe him. It's like, no, whatever you think makes sense, that's important. Even if you're wrong, right? You should have the courage to take yourself seriously, whether you're right or wrong, because who should you take seriously? Should you take Jordan Peterson? Should you take Jordan Peterson seriously? Should you take Elon Musk seriously? Should you take Jesus seriously? Should you take King James seriously, who should we take seriously other than you? It's you who you should take seriously. It's you who you can trust. If we're going to be truly honest with yourself, it's only you that you can trust in this realm, because you have your best interest at heart. You don't want to go to hell. You don't want some archons. You don't want some archons making you suffer because they want energy from you, right? You want to have the best experiences possible, so you should trust the one that you know for sure wants you to have the best experiences possible. So it's you that you can trust 100%. I do know that, it sounds good to say I can only trust God, or I can only trust myself and God and whatever. But in reality, it's only yourself that you can trust. Because if you were stuck in a simulation and there was this being that was controlling the simulation, you can't trust that being that is controlling the simulation. Because what if he doesn't have your best interest at heart? What if that simulation itself is a prison and you're not even sure that it is? So should you trust that being that created that simulation because he has power in that simulation, or should you trust yourself? Thank you guys for watching until the end. Like, comment, tell me what you think about the video. Subscribe to the channel. We're still growing. Thank you.